So we are here, The Boot Podcast Episode 1. Yee!
Yeah, the boot. What is
So,
the boot?
so super excited. We're going to talk about our life experience personally, going through the military, going through our little segments of each phase. And I think it would be helpful and beneficial to anybody who's joining or even thinking about joining or, just to even hear our experience because I'm pretty sure veterans are they either went through the same kind of thing or a different kind of road path. So.
Yeah. Um, this first episode is gonna be about joining, right? So we're gonna talk about what are we talking about? Just joining, why we joined, and then we'll go into another episode about probably the next step is boot camp, and then was it combat training, and
Hey.
then like MOS. I will go into it all. The next processes,
Woo! Yeah.
and but that's just our experience. It could have changed though, right? I mean, I think a lot of stuff possibly changed. Not really though, right? I mean, how much could the process have changed? Like all the experience. I feel like especially for the Marine Corps,
Yeah.
they're very traditional. So every there are probably little things here that changes. Like you can't. I know when we went in, it's like you couldn't hit them. You couldn't hit the recruits. I got hit though. I got hit.
I got hit too. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
got hit.
what
Yeah,
year did you go in? What year did you start at boot camp?
2004.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. So, were you in the pulley program from the beginning, or was the beginning of 2004?
I was in the pool. So Pooley, right? Pooley is like right before you join, you go to your recruiter, and then you start training. You start learning like the little stuff, right? Like becoming a Marine, especially so this is based off Marines, but yeah, you start becoming. The recruiter starts teaching you all the Marine Corps stuff, right? They start brainwashing you from there.
Yeah.
And you're getting pride, because you're already hyped. I don't know about for other people, but for me, I was like hyped. I've been hyped about joining the military since I think I was a kid, man.
Oh,
I always
nice.
always loved the fighter jets. I loved like naval. I love big stuff like just like even buildings. Like I live in New York City, right? So I always love drawing the skyline. I love massive like creations, like the
Like
stuff that
architect
I guess
or
that
just like
just like
engineering?
everything that's massive, like even cruise ships, like that's why I love carriers, man. I just love the idea of it. So it's floating city there, and you have fighter jets, you have all military personnel in there, you have sailors, you have Marines in there, you have SEALs. It's crazy, people. Ah, man, and that always fascinated me. And
Nice.
then for me, I always wanted to join, right? And my brother, I have an older brother, and 2001, 9/11 happened,
Wow.
and I
He
think a
went in the
few,
heart of 9/11.
yeah,
Yeah.
he went in out of nowhere, because I don't know, he never told me about that he never, I don't know if he ever had a fascination with military,
Hmm.
but he might have because he joined the Marines, and then he I think he jumped ship to Army, but he did for CID or something like that, for Central Intelligence. I don't know what they're called, but it's like the FBI for Army. Correct me if I'm
Ooh,
wrong.
not
But
bad.
he did. Yeah, so he did that, and then he became. He was also a sheriff, and then police officer in California, and then
Okay.
now he's SWAT and K9. So either he was always fascinated with like this
Right.
military law enforcement, or um, it grew on him, or it brought it out in him, because
Yeah.
he lives and breathes this shit. Um,
Nice. So
but
your brother
anyways,
was a big influence, basically, right?
I think so. Well, no. So yes, he's always a big influence, of course.
Uh-huh.
But when he joined, it was again, like I said, it was kind of like out of nowhere for me, and I'm like, whoa, because I always wanted to go too, and that was my plan, and so that
Yeah.
motivated me even more to go though, because like, and this was
Okay.
just the height of the war, not the height of the war, but the beginning of the war. He went
Right.
during the invasion,
OIF 1.
and when he went, yeah, you go to Kuwait first, and then they cross.
Yeah.
They were like, the countdown. Remember they had Bush gave um, Saddam like, I don't know, like 48 hours. I forgot how many hours. It was a count. Everybody, it's crazy. I'm like this is insane. What time? I'll be coming home from school, and like like what's the countdown at? You know,
So
are we
for
going to
those who
war?
don't
Like
know
this is
OIF, yeah, let me explain. OIF 1 is Operation Iraqi Freedom. So obviously, President Bush at the time, he said, "Yo, we're about to pop it off," and then that's what happened.
yeah. And then so my brother went, and then that motivated me more. It's like the way I look at it is like, okay, if your brother or your best friend or one of your closest boy or any family member gets in a fight, you join,
Yeah, I
you
could
go
relate.
in, you know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about? So it's like,
yeah.
oh,
No, my
my
cousin.
brother's going to war. My brother was waiting, and I'm like, oh, I remember I would email him or write letters. I'm like, I'm coming
Nice.
soon, uh, yeah, I would put up in boot camp. I would put up we had this wall of inspiration, and from family. Like, so when we get the letters from home, uh, we would have pictures from
Nice.
home, right? And then the senior drill instructor would tell us, oh, this wall is for, put one picture up of something that inspires you. So I would put my brother. It was a picture of him in Iraq. You know,
Oh, okay.
he had his what do you call
Black
that?
Panther.
Not what's that suit? The gas mock suit.
Oh, the
Is it the
NBC
mock suit? And yeah, NBC suit. Because remember there was like a huge chemical, threat, whatever,
at the time.
gas. Yeah, at that time, and so everyone always had to wear gas masks and shit like that. So I would have picture up on then I remember seniors like, who's this? I'm like, oh, this is recruit's brother. He's like, oh, he's a fucking hard charger. He was like, he was
Give
amped.
that props.
Yeah, I loved it, man, and that I fed off that shit. But anyway, so I joined. That's one reason. I had just so many reasons why I joined. I don't know about you. What
Yeah.
about you? Yeah, I don't think there's one reason we joined. I mean, I love
Yeah.
America. I am a patriot. State, I love this country. Does it need work? Of course, everything needs work. Everything can get better, and there's good and there's there's ways of doing it.
Yeah. There's always going to be a difference of opinions, of course. Yeah.
Of course, but there's also logical ways of doing things, and but
Right.
but just to touch on it, it's like I don't think the route we're going is well. We'll see what happens, but going out and burning our own cities, obviously, I don't have to say more, but
Mhm.
yeah. So what I mean for you, what is it? Just that because one reason for me too was that I didn't like high school.
Mm.
I barely went, and then I also
You used to cut all the time, or what?
yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, I used to cut all
Because
the time.
I went to private school from kindergarten to 8th grade, so I
Mm.
was on lockdown. I mean, I always had to wear a uniform,
Uniform.
and I was strict, And then when I got to like public high school, I went to an art high school called LaGuardia in New York City,
Okay.
and it was like freedom. Like, and then once I
Yeah.
got taste of freedom, I'm like, what? You could just not
Wear
go,
whatever you want.
Yeah, wear wherever you want, and
Yeah.
also you don't have to go technically. I mean, there's no that there's not that much because the private school that I was in was such a small school that if you don't show up, you're is you know they're
You
gonna
miss a
get
whole quarter or something.
yeah. I mean, well, people will notice. People will notice that you're not there,
Yeah.
and you're getting so much trouble. But that's why you couldn't cut. But in public school, you're just kind of like the taste of freedom, like whoa. And I had more experience. 'Cause I went to school in New York City, so I
Yeah.
had this. I was young. I was like what 13, 14, and had New York City as my environment. Of course,
Yeah.
I'm partying. I went out around New York City, dodging cops. I
Yeah.
was a shithead, man. And
So were you
anyway,
like you were like that movie Kids or no?
I mean, it was very relatable.
Oh yeah.
Not the whole HIV and AIDS stuff, but
Yeah. Let's do it.
and sex. I mean, I wasn't like slinging dick around.
Yeah. You were kind of like
I was just
boosting
having
it on
fun,
the
man.
side.
I was having fun. I was having fun because I felt like I was like I didn't
Unstoppable. Yeah.
yeah, well, I felt like I was so confined before throughout my whole childhood, and I'm like, wow, this is such an eye opener. Anyway, so I joined the Marines because I remember I know high school I didn't take it seriously.
Mhm.
I know I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I told myself if I go to college, I have to pay for this shit,
Yep.
you know, and I knew I was like, man, if I go at this mind state, I'm gonna waste time and money.
Yeah. So you were like,
And,
I'm
and
cool.
I'm so good for the military. I love it. I love what they do, and and I love the even. I joined knowing very little, thinking I knew a lot, and
Oh,
then you learn
you
why.
learn as you grow.
Whoa, this is real shit, man. This is the real
Yeah.
shit. But yeah, man.
No,
Um,
yeah, same here. So my route was so I was same like I wasn't the greatest teenager. All through high school, cutting. Well, I could say it now, but mom, I was smoking. But yeah,
yeah.
but
So was I.
basically, yeah, huh?
So was I.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
so it was the thing to do. So I grew up in the Bay Area. I'm from Daly City, California. I went to Jefferson High School. Our high school was majority minority. We're known for sports, so I always like the structure, like in a football, like on a football team. Like, hey, you show up to practice, you work hard, you get playing time. So then that mentality kind of drove me not to join. So I was a late bloomer when I went to when I joined. My cousin, he went same thing, OIF1. He went straight out of high school. He graduated 2001. Shout out to my cousin Jeff. He definitely was a big inspiration. We have this lake called Lake Merced. It's about 5 miles if you actually walk it or run it.
Mhm.
Right when he got out of boot camp, this fool was fresh out of boot camp, skinny, jawline all nice. He went to Lake Merced. He said, "Let's go," and I was like, "Let's go!" Like, fool, I just wanted to walk, and then this dude took off. So I took off too, but mind you, I'm in only like okay shape. I'm a smoker, so it was just like nah. So
What you smoke? Weed or cigarettes?
no, I hated
Both.
cigarettes. Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah, I
hated.
smoke cigarettes. I smoked cigarettes. I
I
quit
smoked
though.
a black here and there, but nah.
Yeah, I mean I quit that shit.
Yeah, so at first, I had a good buddy named Lawrence who was in the military too. So he was lacing me up with like, oh, what you expect, everything. So I went to the Navy. Actually, I went to his friend, and I told the Navy guy, say, hey, I just want to take the ASVAB test. I want to see where I score, and then I want to see the job opportunities with that score. That wasn't the case because once you actually swear in, you're fully. So I took the ASVAB and then they're about to swear me in. I was like, nah, I'm cool. Like, hold on. I don't I told you, like, I want to see what my job or what my
Oh,
MOS.
that's pretty good.
Yeah. So then the recruiter's agenda is like, hey, I need to get as many people in as I can. So he was kind of heated. So there was a Marine Corps office like right next door. And I was like, yo, I want to join this one because my cousin went in, my good friend Lawrence went in, and which I call like my brother. So uh, definitely that's what my
Yeah,
influence going
I
in.
mean, that's great. I think that's one of the best advice is to don't be rushed, right? I mean,
But
the recruiters are gonna try to rush you, especially because you know why they have quotas, right? I mean,
yeah,
I could be mistaken, but
yeah, or agenda. Their agenda is basically the objective is to
well,
get
the
people.
the agenda is for to fill up the military, but I know for certain, especially certain regions, it's not for every recruiter, but depending on what region you are, I believe. And I don't know if it's changed, but this from
Yeah,
my knowledge, uh, a recruiter has to get like a certain amount of recruits.
hmm
They have a quota monthly.
monthly. Yeah.
So what they would do is also, um, they have kids in high school who are going to graduate, let's say, in a few months. So they, the right thing, the smart thing to do is to, like, okay, this group, these couple of kids, I'm good for March because they're gonna graduate in, let's say, July, right? And then they he's assigned for he wants to leave in March or whatever. I don't know. Pick a
Yeah, the
month.
timeline.
And then that's how they fill it up. They're like, okay, so I'm good for this month. I'm good for this month. And that's the thing. I know because I was talking with my recruiter before I joined too. He was telling me all that stuff. I mean, listen,
Oh, he
it's
gave you the
not.
lowdown.
Yeah, he gave me a load. He was very transparent. What happened to my recruiter though? I think his name was Staff Sergeant Wallace, big black dude. Was a real fucking Marine, man. He was the way he was that hard charger. He was a Marine, man. He was
Yeah.
yeah. If you want to become a Marine, and that's a recruiter that you want to see because he was very inspiring.
Nice.
And one day. He was, I believe, it was South Carolina, North Carolina. He was driving from New York City to, because he has a daughter somewhere not outside of New York, and I think what happened was he fell asleep at the wheel, and I want to say it's horrible. It was so long ago, but
Yeah.
I think he passed away.
Wow.
His daughter was in the car, but she survived.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh man.
it's crazy, man. And so I got a new recruiter, and that's crazy, man. And then that happens, man. Once you
Yeah.
join the Marines, right?
Reality hit.
That shit
Reality
happens
hit.
all the time. Starting from then, that's when I was like, I remember that. And then, throughout the years, and when we're in the Marines, um, so many of our Marines died from just car accidents.
Right.
Trey,
Yep.
Trey died from, he died from that.
The closest, one of the closest circle, huh?
Yeah, and I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what it is. We train for war. We do those crazy. That's why we have these safety briefs, right?
Hmm.
Where everyone's like, obviously don't drink and drive. Rap if you're gonna tab it. you know,
If she messes with
um,
you, she could mess with anybody.
yeah. I mean, so I don't know if it's this thing where we have this mindset that we're indestructible.
Mhm.
Maybe, I don't know. I really don't know. But throughout my career in the Marines, it was more than enough to see. There was more than what I wanted to experience,
Yeah.
where close friends or just Marines, in general, were dying from car accidents or riding bikes. Remember, um,
Mhm.
motorcycle accidents. It's crazy. So I think, just everyone. I mean, it's crazy.
So,
Lots of
so
words on
you
that.
had a new recruiter. So the new recruiter, he laced you up, and you had your target date. So when did you go in? Like winter season, summer? What was your?
Oh yeah, I went summer because my brother went in winter,
Mm,
and I hate the cold. And I live in New York City. I hate it. I love snow when I was a kid, right? But I lived in an apartment building my entire life,
right.
so I never had to shovel, so I loved it. But um, I think once you get older, the cold sucks.
Yeah,
Everything
yeah,
hurts. It's more of a new uh, it's more an obstacle,
yeah.
right? When you're trying to get shit done. For me, at least. But I
Yeah.
mean, don't get me wrong. Christmas in New York and Christmas with snow is great.
Like no
It's
other.
nothing.
Yeah,
There's nothing like it. Of course,
yeah.
it's nothing like it. But that's why I don't know. I'm moving to California
Oh,
or Texas.
yeah.
Nah, I think it's California. Depending,
Yeah, it's
but
California.
it all depends on what in the next few weeks and months. What's gonna happen? You know,
Yeah.
we'll see
So
what
then,
happens.
so then you signed up, and then tell us about like did you had to wake up in the when did you had to memorize some things, or what was it like
Oh
when
yeah,
you?
I mean, so yeah, so the Pool League program. So we are talking about before. Well, the Pool League program, I was only in there for about a couple of months, man.
Oh wow, were you
Yeah,
dedicated? Were you dedicated like daily working out with them, or not really?
yeah, I was. My recruiter. So I changed recruiter twice. But the first recruiter, he had a tragic accident, and then I had another temporary recruiter, and then oh no, I had the same recruiter, but the gunny in that recruiting station would take us out to train. He was
Nice.
like this.
What
He
would
was
you guys have to do? What would you guys have to do?
well. First of all, he was just like this small Korean guy, but he was like
Uh-oh, he was
he
your
was like
people.
yeah, it was weird. Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, just to see another Asian, it's inspiring. Like oh
Yeah,
shoot, okay, we can
he's a
move up.
gun. He's good.
Oh, there is no systemic racism. No, I'm just no, but so listen, he would train us. He was jacked too, man. I mean, he was small, but like he was fit. He would kill us. He would
With like
definitely
a
kill us.
3 mile run, or where would he take y'all?
Oh yeah, like I mean, mostly we do tread like to the gym. I only went a couple of times.
Oh
I
wow.
only went a couple of times, and it was tough. It was tough. And,
Yeah.
and the other poolies, they were. I was like, I just got there to that. Everyone's already like motivated. They wore like windbreakers, and like I came in like jeans and stuff probably.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and and I just got there to train, everybody was already there. You know, they're still in high. Some of them were still in high school. They weren't scheduled to leave till like a year.
Wow.
Yeah, but they're motivated, man. They're motivated, and so was I. You know, I'm like, whoa. But I was just like, I'm shipping out to boot camp in like,
Yeah.
like 2 months, bro. And you know, they were like jealous. And I'm like, oh man, I can't wait. You know, because
Yeah.
it's like that. You're sitting there. I mean, and then you're gonna do that your entire career. That's one advice: be prepared to sit and to hurry up and wait.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Hurry up and wait.
Hurry up and wait.
Yeah, you better do everything fast because you're gonna be waiting a lot, and that's what it is. I mean, but anyway, so I didn't have much time to train. I didn't have much time to, you know, to be prepared for boot camp. But again, boot camp will prepare you no matter what. If you're prepared, if you think you're prepared or whatever, you're
Nah.
probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. I
Mentally,
understand myself.
I don't know how you could train yourself mentally. You know,
Yeah.
I think
It is, besides the physical part, like that part anybody could push through. The mental aspect is like that's the roadblock that you would have to conquer on your own, and it's either you sink or swim.
yeah, it is 100%. And I, you know, there's so many because you know I did TikTok and I have a lot of people asking me
Oh,
what.
go ahead, put your TikTok out there so people could ask you more questions.
Yeah, it's it's me Terry Kim,
Nice.
uh, and the same handle for Instagram and TikTok. But yeah, so I have a lot of people asking me, you know, what can I do to prepare myself? You know, they want other
Yeah, the same
people.
question.
They're nervous or you know they're excited, and you know the most thing run,
Yeah,
endurance,
that's
man.
good
Running
advice.
is like because you're gonna build up strength no matter what. They'll
Yeah.
build you. They'll
That
build you.
endurance. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
but one thing that will definitely help you before you go is if you're capable of running 3 miles
You're
and yeah, in under like you know 25 minutes, yeah, you'll be good because if you can do that before you go to boot camp,
yeah,
by the time end of boot camp, you'll be
yeah.
fucking
I think
solid,
that's great advice. Yeah, yeah.
right?
Because yeah,
Running, running, endurance, and that will keep you going mentally too. I think, but mentally, I tell them too, like that's one thing you know you're gonna that's the one thing that you're gonna get straight up from Marine Corps boot camp. That's
yeah.
the training. You're gonna find yourself there. Because did anybody quit when you went in boot camp? I had a couple of people that fucking
Like
quit. Me too.
before boot camp or during boot camp?
During, of course, before probably right. I don't know, but
I
during
don't
boot
know.
camp, it's people quit, man. It's tough. It's tough, especially depending what kind of lifestyle you had before it. The main thing for boot camp is to literally, that's what my drill instructor told me, to completely erase what you fucking learned from society,
Right.
you know, well, what society has taught you how to be lazy, and the human body is naturally lazy. That's why we lean, you know, we lean because our body
Wow.
naturally wants rest. That's why they make us stand, you know,
Posture.
for like,
Yeah.
yeah, for
Chest up.
hours, man.
Chest
I
up.
don't know, it felt like hours where they make you stand in attention, and where your shoulders build like that, you know, it's like if you feel like you're doing you know, lifting weightlifting weightlifting, and you're doing shoulder, you know, your shoulders all day, and but you're not, you're just standing there
Yeah.
in the correct
You can
posture,
free weight.
or you know, erect posture. But yeah, you're gonna you need endurance, and you, I don't know, what advice you could give to somebody to prepare them mentally. You can't, I mean,
Yeah.
I took taekwondo. You know, I was a black belt in taekwondo
Oh.
before. Yeah, so that helped a lot with discipline. You know, the mental
Mhm.
state of trying to, you know, at a young age, I did, you know, I did taekwondo, I did kickboards and, you know, do push-ups and do 1,000 jump ropes to pass the test and do a whole bunch of stuff that, you know, like, oh, cool, I can, you know, you can do this. And trust me, boot camp, you can do it. Everything's possible, man. Their objective is not to fail you. Their objective is they want you to succeed. They want you to become a Marine, you know, they want to transform you, and you will be transformed. The ones who don't pass boot camp for some reason, um, yeah, you're definitely, you did the right thing of not, you know, not proceeding then, because
Yeah.
right. I mean, if you can't pass boot camp, you're definitely not fit for anything else beyond boot camp.
Mhm.
That's what I
That's
mean.
great. Yeah, that's great advice. I think so.
but you
Yeah.
can't do it. But I'll just let you know, you can't. It's not meant for you to fail. It's
Yeah.
not.
So
Meant.
all
It's
walks of
meant.
life.
It's,
Yeah.
it's
All
meant
walks of
for
life
you.
can do it. Yeah.
It's meant for you to succeed. It's meant for you to grow and become this new person. You bleed green now. And you become this new machine. And it's amazing, man. It gives me
Yeah.
the chills just talking about it. What you
Yeah. It's a
become,
proud feeling. Yeah, of
from a
course.
shit, you become a piece of shit to this fucking hero.
Stellar. Yeah, yeah.
And it's amazing. They pump out good fucking people. It's like they become, and then later on they become, even better citizens. And and
Yeah.
and yeah,
I think so.
for the
That's
most part. For the most part, obviously, we're all human, and we make mistakes, and go a different route sometimes. But
yeah. So yeah, just like you
yeah,
said,
there's a lot of variables. There's a lot of variables, but
yeah, my roadmap is pretty much this. So what happened? I was scheduled for December,
mhm.
and then I had some like issues with some charges, and yeah, it wasn't
Oh
fun.
yeah, me too. Me
Yeah.
too.
So
Me
then
too.
they
That's so
delayed my thing. So
Me
I was
too.
gonna go December, then I delayed to February because yeah, I had to show up to some charge stuff.
Yeah,
So
I was on probation for a year by
oh
court
wow.
court order. Yeah, it was so stupid too. I got in a fight.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was it was a stupid situation.
Yeah, mine was like a
Stupid move
petty
on me
theft
too.
thing, which was dumb, like super dumb. But
Yeah,
basically, yeah. So recruiter was mad, like, "Hey, man, we were supposed to go December. Just keep."
exactly.
So then, I'm still trying to live it up in the Bay. Like, yeah, I want to hang out with my friends. It's the last time I'm ever gonna see y'all. Like, like you always want to have that moment with your friends. And I just kept partying, because I was 19-year-old at the time, and I was just
Me
like,
too.
like why not, like why like. And then when I went to the pulley program, obviously I'm the oldest, everybody's 17, 18, and
Exactly.
I already kind of had a little bit of life experience, but not too much. But I was pretty laced up where I could just like, okay, I could figure this out. And my recruiter was just like, okay, like, like we're still gonna accept you, because I seriously thought like that was it. Like once I got that charge and I didn't get my boot camp tape, I was like, well, shit, like
Uh,
I'm back to square one. But it wasn't like that. Like it felt like that though. I was at the time, because you're a 19-year-old kid. I went to college. I tried community college, like first quarter or first semester. Oh yeah, I was a G. I got straight A's, everything.
oh really?
Second quarter, oh, I used to cut. Like, oh, I don't have to show up to school. Oh, okay. So college is a little different from high school. You're like, you
Yeah.
don't show up, and then at the time, I think it was like $5 or $8 a unit. So it was dirt cheap. So I was like, oh, I ain't tripping. I'm on financial aid. I got my financial aid check. Like, yeah,
Uh-huh.
let's go party. I got paid. But that's not the case. Like, yeah, I still live with my mama and everything. So, but yeah, it was different. So I went to MEPS. I don't know what MEPS stands for. You know what MEPS stands for? I don't
I
remember.
forget, man.
But basically, that's one of the starting processes when you're about to
To look it
join.
up.
Yeah, look at
Uh-huh.
that. So what happened is, yeah, MEPS basically they test you, right? They do what, a mile and a half. You have to do what, 2 pull-ups. I don't know. It was just it was small time. It was small time to like, okay, cool, I could do that. Like that's easy. But then the run, like you said, if you're not a runner, like I was gassed, I was a smoker, so my lungs were like,
Uh-huh.
like man, it was painful. It was just like, okay. And then I had that mentality too, like, you know what, you need to get better at this, because if not, you're gonna struggle from the jump. So
100%. Yeah. So our MEP stands for Military Entrance Processing Station.
oh well, there you go. So yeah,
Yeah.
you see the Navy guys, you see the airmen
Yeah,
guys,
it's
Air
everybody.
Force. Yeah, Coast Guard. Like Coast Guard was the smallest out of everybody. Like, oh yeah,
Of
I'm in the Coast
course. Yeah.
Guard. And it was like,
Yeah.
I didn't even heard of Coast Guard at the time. I was like, oh,
Oh, really?
there's a
What?
service.
How'd you hear about Marines? Like, what? I didn't hear about Marines. You know,
Oh
I never
yeah,
knew. I never not. I heard of Marines. I just never knew what they really were. Not till my sister's ex boyfriend at that time. Ex boyfriend now, but he was a Marine, and he was a small arms repairman. He was an armorer. So and I was like, what the hell is a Marine? Like,
right.
what is a Marine? Like I knew, like I always knew, like send in the Marines. From all like old war movies and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
never really understood what Marines were. And then he showed me, like, and I looked it up. We didn't we didn't use internet that much that
Yeah.
time.
It was just big.
Yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
it wasn't
2000s. It
something
wasn't
like I was
that
just like
big.
Marine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, holy crap, because I wanted to become, I was like that mindset. I wanted to become a SEAL. I
Oh,
was like or a Ranger. I really loved
yeah.
Ranger or
Because
SEAL.
those are the badass MOSs. Those are the
Yeah,
guys.
that's
Yeah.
I was thinking at that level until I knew, like, wow, this is fucking tough.
Like,
you
I'm
know,
cool. I'm cool.
no, mad respect, mad respect.
Yeah.
No, no. I mean, hey, could I have done it? I thought of it. I thought of going when I was in the Marines. I thought of going, because I remember going to PX, saw a paper on the PX, the door, and it was for sniper induction or whatever.
Nice.
Snipers come. Like, I looked at it for a few minutes, and I'm like, and I never saw it. Never thought about it again.
You're like,
Nah,
yeah, yeah.
no, it was tough because we train all the time. I'm like, yeah, I love this shit, but you know, and especially after going to Iraq, yeah, I don't know if I could have done it. I could have. I think, of course, if you do it, you can do it.
Yeah,
But like, I don't know, it's something where you wanted to explore more. Because for me, one of the big reasons was like life. There were 4 years go by like this,
yeah,
right? It was flash, man. It went by so fast, and I felt like I didn't want that um, to happen to me. I don't want that just to my whole life. And nothing wrong about staying in. I'm not. This is just for me. This is what happened. With me, I didn't. I just didn't want it to flash by so fast, especially
right.
coming back after Iraq and seeing all that crazy shit. And people dying, and it was like you appreciate life a lot more.
Yeah,
And not that I didn't appreciate being in the Marines.
it just
I
humbles
you know
you a little bit.
yeah, definitely. Maybe, like, man, what else is out there? I need to explore more. And not, but maybe, I mean, you could definitely explore more while being in the Marines too. And some people love, like, and if that's what you want to do, you definitely should go for it. If you want to go for a career where 20 years or plus, definitely.
Yeah, that's
Um,
nothing wrong. You get a pension.
yeah.
Like,
And oh, that's great. Everything's
now
great.
you're thinking about, okay, this is my other income coming in, and that's
Hmm.
pretty cool to me. But yeah, definitely when you go in, it's foreign territory. They give you a green book. They tell you to memorize these conducts, all this, and I'm like, study what? But now you need to study that because right away, imagine you're standing, they're testing you, all that stuff. So the pulley program gives you a sense of direction, but it's at your own pace. So it's like, hey, you need to learn this, and like, I'll learn it when I'm in boot camp. I got 3 months, and then like you said, I didn't know Marine was the longest boot camp. I thought
Yeah, I
everybody
didn't know either.
3 months too, but that wasn't the case either. Because I think
Yeah.
Navy's like a month and no, 2 months. Navy's 2 months. Air Force is about a month, like 8 weeks or 6 weeks, something hella small. Navy's a little Navy, Air Force, and then us were 3 months, and then Army. I'm sorry, Army. I always have to clown you guys, but
Yeah, because I have my Army friends. They went to Army basic training, and they're like, it was a joke.
yeah,
I don't think Marine Corps boot camp is a joke at all.
no,
I never heard a Marine ever say Marine Corps boot camp is a joke. I heard so many Army soldiers say, yeah, it's fucking easy. It was a joke.
yeah.
Like, I'm like, whoa. I mean, I'm not trying to make Marine Corps boot camp like it's the hardest shit ever or anything, but it was very
Long. It's intense. It's long and intense.
it's very intense, yeah, and it was very inspiring and motivating. Like, it changed you. It definitely 100% changed you. Like people, when I came out of boot camp, people were like, whoa, I grew a few inches, I think, and I
Little
look.
tone, your little
People said
tone.
I look more mature, and girls like me. Girls that didn't like me liked me.
Yeah,
It was weird.
yeah.
It was
You had a
weird.
certain flag about you. Yeah, yeah,
It was weird. Yeah. Well, you carry yourself very differently. I think if I'm looking back now,
yeah.
yeah, you carry yourself very differently. Your train, your mental state is changed completely. And it's
Yeah,
gonna
you want to
change, keep
represent
continue
the
to change.
best Marine outside. Yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah. So yeah, being in one thing. So yeah, don't be rushed when you're 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 in the pulley program, or when you're talking to a recruiter. Get
Right.
what you want, get the MOS that you want by
Oh, really?
studying the ASVAB.
Did you
I
score
wanted to.
high on your ASVAB or what?
Yeah, so I think even just I don't remember, but I know to be an armorer, because first of all, I didn't want. It's not that I didn't want. I loved weapons. I loved like um
The design.
rifles, like design engineering, because that's what I do now too. I design and do a little engineering, but more design work on especially military and law enforcement survival products, right?
Right.
But I always loved the mechanics of it too, the designs. But anyways, I wanted to be infantry.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
wanted to be
you were
infantry.
gun
Yeah,
hall infantry. Yeah.
yeah. 'Cause I
Your
want.
brother was
I was.
infantry. Yeah, yeah.
No, my brother was an engineer,
Oh,
combat
he's
engineer, or something like that. Yeah. But he went on Muse and stuff like that. So they did different stuff. He went to Iraq 3 times. All different roles. Yeah. So one thing about when you're in the Marines, so that's what I'm trying to get at is like, well, first of all, get what you want, right? Even so, meaning you have to pass the ASVAB. The ASVAB score for,
Score high.
I
Score as
believe,
high as you can. Yeah.
yeah, but for my MOS, which was armor, it was like 95, I think. Yeah, you need
Mhm.
to score 90. I'm not sure. I could be totally wrong, but you need to score fairly high. But originally I wanted infantry. I think my brother and my dad said I shouldn't do it. And
That was a big blessing.
it, it isn't. It isn't. I don't know what to say to that. I mean, because obviously, I mean, I still went. You still go to Iraq. You still go to Iraq. I mean, I still did infantry. I was with the infantry. I saw I saw combat with the infantry, and I'm very blessed, grateful that participated in that with them. They're fucking heroes, man.
Right.
And I'm just from outside looking in. I was just a guest. I felt like, but
Yeah.
they made me
It was
feel.
support.
I
It was
mean, I
support. Yeah.
wasn't a guest. I mean, I felt like I was a guest in the beginning, but definitely you become one of them. And this, they were like, Cam, you're the honorary grunt. It was a
Yeah.
pogue. Pogue is a personnel other than grunt.
Mhm.
But
Got that
but
a
I was
lot.
but I was with them, and I was with them, and they're like, yeah, Kim, you're a grunt, this and that, because we were all together. We're there, we're shoot, we're completing missions,
Yeah.
together, out, and it was nobody else but us, my squad and platoon,
Yeah.
and I love it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so I wanted to become infantry, but um, I think what also was in my mind is like that thought where, oh, once I get out,
What are you gonna
what are you
do?
gonna
Yeah.
do with that, And I think it's a good thing to do, but it's also a bad thing to do, right? I wouldn't do it like that. You know what? I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't base what you do in the military,
For the
you know,
rest of your life. Yeah.
yeah, because everything changes. But do what you think do what you think is best,
Do what
and
your interest, honestly. If you're
yeah,
curious or
definitely.
interested, like I feel like that's the great advice. Like don't feel like, okay, I did this 4 years, I'm a chef, or I'm 0311, which is the
A
infantry
mech-
guys. Like
or a
that's not
mechanic,
or
or
a mechanic, yep. That's not your set path for the rest of your life. Remember, like you could do whatever you want. But my highly advice is, yeah, definitely score high on that ASVAB because it matters. You
you have more power to choose.
exactly. So I didn't score high on ASVAB right away.
Oh
Hey,
no.
here you go, 0311. I'm like, nah. I like
Oh
nah.
really?
Yeah, and then they're like, hey, like we could give you a little extra. There's this supply thing, and I said, at the time, I think it was called like a air something. I don't remember, but it was just like, oh, all right, it's supply. Like, okay, cool. You're like, whatever. Best job I had for a minute.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because I was the guy that had all the gear. I was the guy that
Yeah,
people
you
wanted
loved
to
it.
for me. Yeah, but at the same time, it was cool because I just felt like, man, that was the job that fit my personality. I thought, like at the time. So
That's good.
that was pretty awesome.
Definitely, I think whatever you choose, you choose. Make sure it's your own choice, and
Yeah,
then put 100% in it.
yeah,
You don't go walking around moping around like, oh the Marine Corps sucks. You had a few people like that. Like,
yeah,
oh, they hate it. They love the Marines. They loved it. They're just
Yeah,
you
their
know,
demeanor, their
they,
motivation was different. You know.
but they, when it came down to work, they worked.
Yeah.
Even the
You
ones
gotta
that
show up.
were always bitching, and they, I always learned in MOS school too, like a bitchy Marine's a happy Marine. They need to, Marines need to bitch. Like, you need to put them through hardship.
Yeah.
They love it. Like, I think they always want to have this mentality where it needs to be the best.
Yeah.
We had the hardest training, we had the longest. We shoot further. It's all true.
Yeah. It is true though. Yeah.
It's
Our,
true.
our,
Yeah.
our training is like very badass. Like
Yeah.
I would have never thought I could shoot 1,000 meters. Like I never.
Yeah. I mean, for joining the Marines, the way I look at it, people who join the Marines versus Army, Navy, Air Force, you're joining each branch specifically caters to you as your personality, as your individual person, who you are.
Right.
And that's why, Marines are Marines. Like, majority of them, for the vast majority, are nut jobs. No. Are,
Thank you, motherfuckers.
yeah, I mean, aren't you,
Yeah, everybody got a
crazy
little
attract
different
crazy.
person.
Joker said this. It's like crazy attracted crazy. We attract like minds, right? Meaning, they advertise it, the Marine Corps, as, the first ones to fight. First to fight.
First of mine.
The few, the proud. You get paid the least or whatever. And that everyone gets paid the same.
Yeah, like now going
Because
back,
by E1.
everybody
Well, what
E1.
happens? Why they say though is that you get paid less. I believe the way I experience it is because it's harder to rank,
Oh
in the
yeah,
Marines. Because
yeah.
I've seen soldiers get E5 in like 2 years.
2 years. Yep.
Yeah, like, and I'm like, oh crap, you're making way more, and I'm already like, I've been in 4 years.
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's
crazy. So you do get
that's
paid more. Oh, did you also get sign-in bonus?
no, I didn't.
No, they never give a sign-in bonus.
Didn't.
Army,
Don't
everybody,
post that.
they get like, oh yeah, I got 10,000,
Yeah,
8,000.
off the
I only
bat.
got 2,000. I'm like, what? I didn't get
What?
shit.
Yeah, I didn't get
You
none
know,
of those options. Yeah.
everybody that I asked in the Marines, the freaking like 99% of them say, yeah, I had to get a waiver. I even had to get a waiver to join the Marines.
Right.
I don't know if that's a trick though. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's a trick, because that's the thing with Marines. They don't offer you shit except for discipline, the hardcore shit that that you possibly might die. so that's what I'm saying. It's like, and the best uniform.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the only,
That kind of attracted me too. Those dress blues, like
yeah, that's just like, yeah,
large,
that, okay, that's very
right.
simple,
When November
so
10th rolls around for the Marine Corps birthday, when you put your blues on, you're like, okay,
exactly. Yeah, this is why I
this
joined
is
the
why.
Marines.
Yeah.
They're very proud of it. Not to say that sailors and soldiers and airmen aren't proud of their uniform. I'm 100% sure they are proud of theirs, and and I'm proud of them for the joining. Everybody, listen, everybody has to do their part, and the mission's just different. It doesn't mean the Navy's
Better than the
this, or
Marines.
the Air Force this. It's just the mission's different.
Right.
And everyone, even when you join the Marines or Air Force, you're gonna be doing different shit, this stuff that you never thought that you'd be possibly doing. That was for me. So I joined as 2111, and I did a whole bunch of shit, man. I went to
Yeah.
Sears, training level B, but it's freaking tough. We went to machine gun course. We became,
Together.
machine gun
We were
instructors.
together.
Yeah, that's great. That's how I think that's where we got kind of closer, right? I believe. I know because we I saw the way we were at 20. We were based in 29 Palms,
Yeah.
right? So it was
It's
just.
the armpit of California, guys.
Listen, when I went to 29 Palms, my boy, one of my friends, Chris, shout out to Chris, he's a Marine, and he was, one thing he told me before I went to boot camp, he was like, whatever you do, don't go to 29 Palms, don't get
Yeah.
stationed in 29 Palms. And I didn't even recognize the name, like, I just like, all right, cool. And then once I was assigned, everyone, they're like, Gills, you're going to Cuba, Guantanamo Bay, and they're like, well, like,
Wow.
whoa, cool. And then somebody else got like Pendleton, Hawaii.
Nice. The cool one.
Armors go everywhere.
Wow.
Okinawa, I mean, wherever there's Marines and there's rifles.
Yeah,
That's
obviously.
it. You go anywhere, right? You need an armor. You need somebody that's capable of maintaining these weapons, fixing them, and engaging them, making sure that shit doesn't blow up in your face when you shoot it. you know,
Yeah.
or make sure that it works when you do shoot it.
Yeah.
So
I would hope
uh,
so.
yeah, right, yeah, that's us too. Uh, so you know, so when they called me, it's like, Kim, 29 pounds, and I'm like, 29 pounds, what the fuck is that?
Right.
You
Me
know,
too.
and
I
I'm
felt the
like,
same way.
oh shit, I
Well, it's
think that's
Cali.
the place.
It's California.
Yeah, and I'm like, but I think that's the place where my boy Chris told me not to, you know, wherever you do, don't go there.
Don't go
Uh,
there.
I remember, so I went to my staff sergeant, my platoon, you know, staff sergeant, and he went and I said, staff sergeant, is there any way possible I could get reassigned to, you know,
Ooh,
somewhere else?
you already try to flip the script.
Yeah, I mean, you know, get what you try to get one, you know, and good thing. What he told me is like, hey, listen, he's like, 29 pounds is the secret of the Marine Corps, and he said,
Really?
he said you're gonna love it, and I was like, I said sorry, that's it. I just said I said sergeant,
Yeah.
and you know, they did the about face. I got the fuck out of his office, but no, he did. He told me sincerely, but very firmly, like, you know, and when I loved it, dude. I love 29 pounds.
Yeah.
Going
Looking
from
back
New York
at it, fun
going
to
from New York City, and I remember landing in
Palm Springs.
uh, Palm Springs Airport. I'm like, whoa! I saw palm trees for the first time because that was my first time leaving New York City. Besides when
Oh,
I was like, I think when I was like like when I was in fifth grade, I went to Korea. You
yeah.
know, but other than that, that was my first time leaving New York City.
Wow.
Besides the, you know, tri-states, you know, Pennsylvania and New
Yeah,
Jersey.
that shit don't count. That don't count.
Yeah, it's like, you know, but yeah, well, I remember I just love, it was the desert, and I never experienced the fucking desert, man. It was awesome.
Oh man.
It's
Yeah.
fucking beautiful, man. The sunsets, the sunrises, Lake Bandini, the smell. So we have this it's the desert, and there's like this I don't know, I forgot what you call it, a reservoir or something like that,
Reservoir.
or
Yep.
water.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
I don't know, if that's where our
I don't know
drinking
if
water comes from or our sewage
yeah, I don't know
goes,
if it's the
or
sewage. Yeah.
both. But it stinks, it reeks, and you know, in the morning, I remember, you know, the
Yeah.
Marines were like, yeah, like Bandini's, you know, it's stinking good today, you know,
Yeah.
smells, man.
Like Banditti smells fresh today.
Yeah. Oh, well,
Yeah.
woke you up,
No,
man. It was,
I
you know,
believe it
it was
too.
great.
Because you don't.
Had
Yeah.
character.
Yeah, because you don't find out until after your not basic training, your MOS training. That's when you actually find out what
Yeah, when you're about to go into the fleet, and we'll definitely get into that in the, you know, their
in the
episodes
next
a
couple
little bit.
episodes. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, going into the fleet, man. Once you get it, that's exciting. You know, that's when you're going into the real shit.
Where the men
There's
from the
so many
board.
levels. There's so many levels. You know, so you know, you got Pu Lee. You know, or you know,
Here.
let's go to the from the first state is like just thinking about joining. Like, whoa, should I serve? You know, you're what you're doing is literally telling yourself, I'm gonna prepare myself to die, or give, you know, that's what you're
Yeah,
100%
you
doing.
signed yourself up for
You're
sure you might
yeah,
go to war. Yeah, yeah,
war, whatever training. You're training. You know, training is dangerous too.
yeah.
Safety is always first, right? I mean, but there's a reason. It's because people fucking die.
Right.
People get hurt, and you're signing for that. You're signing up for that. That you're willing to give it all you got. I'm talking about
All
all,
100%. Like
all.
you give 100%. No, there's that little bit in you that kicks you gear.
And what
Yeah,
I mean about all too, not just, you know, you're prepared to give your life, but you're also giving up your freedom during that time frame.
right.
You know, you're giving up freedom. So, you know, I'm not trying to sound cliche. It's not cliche at all. You're signing up. You're signing a contract saying that, you know, I'm gonna give up my freedom and have to wake up fucking early in the fucking zero dark 30,
Yeah,
train, go run when I don't fucking want to, you know, be hungry all the time,
right.
not be able to see my family,
That's
not do the things
that's a
that
big
you want
thing.
to do,
Yeah,
be yelled at, get treated like shit.
yeah,
I love it. At the same time, I don't know, but so you're signing over that, you know, and yeah, that's why, you know, you have to be prideful. You
yeah,
can't go in there just thinking, ah, you know, it's gonna be fun. Yeah,
yeah,
you're gonna have fun. You're definitely gonna have fun times too. But you're gonna be miserable. You're gonna be fucking miserable,
yeah. So
and
definitely
that brings out character. That brings out the
that. Yeah,
fucking person. Man.
because when you get sworn in, I don't know about you, but the pulley program when you like go to map
Ah,
and then like when they swear you in, it's a big deal because like to
Oh
me,
yeah.
like to me, like I was just like, well, whatever. But thinking back at it, like they set up a room, they set up the commander in chief of the MEP center. He goes into the podium, and you're with all the different types of servicemen, and you put your hand up. And when you read that creed, it's like that. Oh, see, I got chills right now.
Me too.
That
I
yeah,
love it, man. It's
that hit me home. Like whoa, like I'm serving my country. I feel like I'm important. I feel like damn, I'm really playing a vital part in this whole freedom thing. And
yeah.
damn, I'm still getting chills.
It is, man. And people, I think, I don't want to say not for many citizens, because what I've seen, like there's a lot of patriots, man. A lot of people that love this country. There's a
All
lot of
day.
people that,
I
there's a
love
lot
this.
of,
Truly,
yeah, I love this country. Come on, I've been to other countries, man. Not just on vacation, but as in military, starting from the young age, and as, as much as other countries do things somewhat better, it's because you know the, we have the constitution and we have like the freedom, man, the freedom to do things here. It's a give and take. We have to, we won't give up our freedom.
Yeah.
Because like let's say Korea, I went to South Korea not too long ago, and beautiful country, right?
Right.
And everything's cleaner. Japan too, like it's very clean and organized. But like not to shit on them. I'm not trying to shit on anyone, but maybe.
We love Korea.
But yeah, and the thing is that yeah, you can have all that organization and cleanliness and stuff, but we technically can't really do that same thing here because we have too much freedom. If that makes sense, it's hard to explain. Like the COVID situation too. People ask like, oh, people say like, oh, other countries are doing much better. It's because of Trump. It's not because of one man. It's definitely because the people.
Yeah. The
They
community.
need to please the people. The people. What's very different about our government versus the other governments is that it's the people that we have rights. You don't want to maybe call it entitlement or privilege, but we are technically privileged, right? We're like, what? Can't do that. You can't tell us this, for how long, stay home for how we other countries they're like, yeah, stay home. If you don't, you're gonna get locked up. You're gonna, you're gonna get punished
Yeah.
somewhere or the other. You can't do that here, and it's a good thing. I think for the better part is for the it's for the better that
Right.
I rather have a dirty, it's dirtier here, especially in New York. And don't say, this is just New York City because we're also there's a lot of variables, right? Because
There's a
we're
lot of
very
trash
condensed.
on the sidewalk.
Yeah, there is, especially these days, especially
Yeah. Because
especially
everybody's
these
home.
days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's because everyone's home, but it's just uh, it could be maybe the mayor is not doing such a great job,
Mm.
which it is. you
Oh,
know,
yeah, Como.
and Cuomo, yeah, the governor, but also, not many people. I mean, this is the first time this ever happened to us, right?
Yeah.
Our
It's
first
just
experience, though.
like a different time and vibe. But so you went to the Pulitzer. So tell us about the night you're about to ship out, bro. Like
Oh yeah, I think I shipped out like I think it was like 3 a.m. or something like that.
yeah,
Very early, right? It was very
yeah,
early, right?
super
Is
early
that for
morning.
everybody? Is that for you too?
Yeah, they got me at that 3-4 in the morning. Yep.
Yeah, I got picked up around like in the middle of the night. I don't think my parents slept, but I know
Same.
I think I took a nap. I don't know. I remember just waking up and I'm like ready to leave, man. We didn't have anything, right? You don't bring anything to boot camp, right?
No, just
You
whatever you got. But
yeah, whatever you wear, right? Huh?
yeah. No, yeah. Let me rewind. So what's crazy is before I went in, I experienced my cousin's day of him shipping out.
Oh, okay.
So, he's my favorite cuz, best man, best friend, basically I was at his house. It was me, his parents, his sister. Um, it's all mixed emotion. Cousin was nervous, sad that he's leaving, happy that he's like pursuing something that he was gun ho about. And recruiter comes in, fucking like it's the middle of the night. You're like still tired, but like
Yeah.
like, yeah, and then like my cousin, he had that look like, yo, I'm ready, cuz don't worry, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back. You're not guaranteed like life. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking in my head, like, dude, this is the time, yeah, 9/11 just happened, so for
Mhm.
sure he's going somewhere. Like,
Yeah.
so like I was like, yeah, his parents were crying, obviously his sister was crying, everybody's crying, but me, I didn't shed no tear because like my cousin said he coming back, like yo, he coming back. But when
Yeah.
the recruiter picks you up, it's something about the air. It's a little colder. It's like you are in that moment. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like thinking
So
back on it.
when I did my cousin's one and I did mine, it's like wow. Even though it was kind of similar, it wasn't that similar.
Of course. I mean, when it's happening in TU, it's very different. I remember. Oh man, yeah, I was excited. So my dad, I remember my brother. When he went to boot camp and came back home after, he had a tattoo. He had
Mhm.
USMC on his back.
Yeah.
Like a lot of Marines. Yes. Do you have a moto tat?
No.
No.
Well, they call it a stupid stamp, but honestly, it's not a stupid stamp. It's not a moto tat. Like
Yours?
I would get the Eagle Globe and Anchor somewhere in this lifetime. I'm pretty sure.
You will? You will? I have no
I don't.
tattoos,
I
man.
don't know if that one, but yeah, I don't know if
I don't.
I do want. I wanted to. If I got a combat action ribbon, I really wanted it on my chest. No joke. But
Oh,
you can
really?
let me borrow yours. I mean,
Yeah. Should I get that tattoo? I have no tattoos. Well, so here's why. All right. So my
yeah,
brother got a tattoo, and then right before, so it's like 3 a.m. I don't know what, right? 0 dark 30,
but
and I hug my mom, my sister, and I hug my dad. When I'm hugging him, he goes, uh, "Don't get a tattoo." Yeah.
damn.
I thought, he hugged me like, "Don't get a tattoo," and I was like, "All right," he's like, "Promise me, don't get a tattoo." I'm like, "All right." So I promised them. Ever since then, I haven't gotten a tattoo. I remember when we were in the fleet,
Yeah.
a bunch of people were like, "Oh, we're all drinking," and they're like, "Let's go get tattoos." And I was like, "Yeah," I'm like, "Oh fuck, hold on." Call my dad. So I called my dad.
Nice.
Yeah, I called my dad. I'm like, "Hey, pops, a bunch of the guys want to get tattoos," and then he was like, "For what?" He was like, "For what?"
Hey, hold
I'm
that
like,
thought. I need to
"Yeah."
get my dog. She's barking like
Oh
crazy.
yeah, yeah.
Hold.
Oh yeah, I hear that shit. Undisciplined dog.
I know.
Not joking. We'll edit this out.
All right. I guess she'll join the show because she's all antsy.
All right. What's
Yeah.
in the L, right? Hey,
Yep.
L.
What up, guys?
Hey, so yeah,
You called your dad about the tattoo, and then what?
yeah, he's just like, for what? What are you gonna do with a tattoo? And he just talked to me very maturely, like, he was like, and I said, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I didn't get it. So, and then I remember one time my brother said, hey, let's go get tattoos, man. And I was like, oh, that's dope.
What, matching tattoos? You and your brother?
Yeah, that's
Nice.
pretty cool, man, because we're both Marines. I mean, I do want to do it,
Oh,
but
you didn't do it. You didn't
I
end up.
didn't do it. Yeah, I mean, so I'm like, I don't think,
Yeah.
I think, because my dad was specifically said, don't get a tattoo because of your brother, and it'll be funny. I get a tattoo because of my brother.
Right. Is
It's
is
funny.
that still open? Is that
I'm
window?
done. I'm not getting a tattoo anymore. But I had that. So at a young age, I think I had that mentality where I'm like, after joining the Marines, I knew the importance. I went to like SEER school and stuff like that, and learned a lot of shit where, not to be identified. You don't want to be identified, by markings, by specific things. I mean, you don't want to add shit on to yourself to be identified as, I rather be clean. Like that's my mentality throughout the time. After a certain point, I'm just
Yeah.
like, I don't want.
Incognito. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm gonna be very basic. Oh, I'm a very basic bitch, you know.
Yeah.
But
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, I'm
you
clean.
know,
Yeah, I always say
cream of
like,
wheat.
huh?
You're gonna be the cream of wheat with no flavor, no brown sugar.
Yeah, very generic.
Gross. Like white rice with nothing on it.
Yeah, exactly. Of no flavor. Well, no, so I gotta build up character in other ways, right?
Yeah.
I always say, oh yeah, you wouldn't paint over the Mona Lisa, you know?
You wouldn't. For sure, you wouldn't.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I I was just excited to leave, man. I mean, I one thing I didn't want to do was leave my. I'm the youngest of four,
Mm,
and my oldest, obviously my oldest sister left the house first, and my brother, and then it was just me and my sister. My sister like went in and out, um, and then at the end, everybody left the house.
yeah. So
Everybody left.
yeah, you were the
And yeah, and it was kind of hard for me to leave my parents, and I get that from other people too, like younger people who are asking me, like, oh, they're worried about other family members, about leaving home, because it seems selfish. It is, but selfish is not a bad thing,
it's
you
not.
know. It's
You got
not.
you gotta grow. You gotta grow
You
to your
have
own.
to, yeah, and it was tough to, like, man, I'm just leaving my parents, um, it was tough, but you had to do it. I think it's selfish if the parents tell you not to leave. If anything, but my
Yeah,
parents told me to
because
leave.
they already
My
lived
par-
life. Yeah.
yeah, my parents said I should have went to the Marines first before my brother. like, like you're like, oh, you should have went to the Marines instead of your brother, because I
Yeah.
was such a troublemaker, they're
Woo.
joking around, but yeah, it was tough to leave. It's tough to leave home, but you gotta do it, man, and you're gonna be doing that a lot.
Mhm.
It was very tough for me to leave home, to leave my parents, to leave your friends, uh, to be comfortable.
Yeah.
You don't
Oh,
want to be comfortable.
be uncomfortable to get comfortable, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you want to get comfortable just for a little bit and get a taste. But when you get too comfortable, you're gonna stay there and you're gonna mold. You're
Yeah.
gonna rot,
Yeah.
and you gotta get out of that. You always gotta do shit, right? I mean, go watch a motivating video from like Gary Vee or
Ooh.
David Goggins, or and they tell you it's common sense. It's
Yeah.
not some. It's not.
It's
It's there.
there's
You
no
just need to
secret
hear it
formula.
over and over, huh?
Yeah. There's no secret formula. They're
There's
just
no
telling
secret formula. You put in the fucking work. The more work you do, is the problem. If you believe in math and probability, it's gonna come out.
right.
The odds are in your favor. And so, anyways, you gotta leave home, and I get that a lot from people though. You gotta do it. You'll go, because why? You're gonna do that shit a lot when you join. You're gonna be moving either rooms. You're gonna be moving stations. You're gonna
Yeah.
move country from, and not just stations by state. You're gonna move, countries. You're gonna deploy to wherever the fuck. What the, there's other stations that you're gonna do deployments on. Like I did the UDP, Unit Deployment Program, they call it, where you go to other places. We went to Thailand. I went to Japan, Okinawa, mainland. It was great. It was a great experience. But yeah, you're definitely gonna be. You gotta be flexible. You definitely learn how to be flexible,
Yeah.
right? You have to be flexible. You have to adapt and overcome, right? That's one thing in the
Ooh,
Marines.
that's the
You
Marine
definitely gotta, yeah, you
part.
definitely gotta adapt. Whatever the situation is, you have to, and that's what you learn. So that whole thing about, I look at the civilian me right before I joined them, before I went to the boot camp. Before I went to boot camp, I remember, okay, the civilian me was like, oh, my parents, what are they gonna do with them? They're fucking adults. They're
Yeah.
fucking adults.
There you go.
You know,
There you go.
they're grown. They're grown ups.
You paid the bills long enough.
Yeah. If anything, they can't. Obviously, yeah, if anything, they can't wait for you to get the fuck out of the house.
Yeah.
Right? Obviously, they'll be sad, but they'll get used to it real quick.
Yeah.
Trust me. And so you just gotta do it. And I look back at, as a civilian me, right? I look back and I'm like, wow, what a bitch. What a bitch. I'm such a bitch. I'm such a
Oh, like
bitch. I was
you're
like,
you're
they're worried about the
anxious or
stupidest
what?
shit. Like, oh, what am I gonna do? You're being a bitch. You just leave. Nobody cares. Go.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, no, you're not as needed as you think you are. Maybe you are. I mean, depending on the situation, but for the
Exactly.
most case, people like your parents or whoever.
Life goes on.
Obviously, if you have somebody to care for, it's a harder thing. If that's a very specific situation. If you
Yeah,
have to
you're a
care for somebody,
provider and everything.
but maybe sometimes too that you're gonna have to go away to provide, right? Like, some people do that. Like, I have friends that were in the Marines that left home, who had a kid, you know, and in order to provide for them and make their own life better, they thought the best route was to join
For
the
them.
Marines or the military. You know, and that happens throughout the whole military. That, you know, it's, you
Yeah.
find yourself, you know, you don't find yourself in a relaxed place on vacation. You don't find yourself. You find yourself when you're in fucking trouble, when
Yeah.
you're in hardship, when you're miserable. You
When
know who you
adversity
are.
really hits you. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
man. You really like, holy shit, this is not what I expected. Or, you know, you definitely, whenever you feel pain and miserable, you're definitely gonna feel like, holy shit, this is very new, you
Yeah.
know, until you keep doing it. And then later, that's when you become stronger and you're like, fuck this. I've been through that. You've been through this, and this is nothing. I could do it, you know, I could definitely do it.
Yeah, I feel like when you went through a struggle or uncharted territories, life is a little easier because you're like, well, is this the worst that's going to come at me? So,
Yeah, life is easier, yes, but because I think it makes it easier because it makes more sense.
mhm.
You're worried about the stupidest shit when you're
When you're young.
when you yeah, when you're not even just young, but anybody who hasn't faced trials and, you know, tribulations, like or hasn't faced hardship,
Yeah.
you know, when you haven't experienced hardship to like a really high level, you know, you tend to, you worry about the dumbest shit, man,
Yeah.
the needless stuff,
What I'm
and
gonna wear? What
complain about other things,
yeah.
huh?
Like, what am I gonna wear? What shoes am I rocking? Yada yada.
Well, that, yeah, I mean, that's still, I mean, I don't do that. I obviously, because
Yeah, me neither.
I believe in, like, because the brain, um, you get brain, is it brain exhaustion or something like that? Your
Uh-huh.
brain is a muscle too,
Yeah.
right? Right. So your brain's a muscle, but if you throughout the day, if you make, especially like if you're an entrepreneur, you're working your brain making decisions. Okay, you're always constantly making decisions,
Yeah.
and that could tire you out throughout the day. So
Yeah.
if you have really important decision making processes, to spend half of your morning picking out, or a couple of hours picking out what you wear or how you worried about how you look, it's very exhausting for the rest of the day, you know, because you're tiring your brain out. Like, just like you're, you know, any muscle, if you're doing workout on your arms and you're gonna go to work and you do heavy lifting, you're gonna, you know,
You're gonna
you're not
burn
doing
out.
yourself a favor. Yeah, you're burning yourself out. And same thing with the brain. You know, you're so worried about other shit, you know, like, you know, what you're gonna wear or whatever. You're gonna get exhausted too. You know, you don't want to, oh, I can't think about this right now. You know, people get like that, right? It's because you're
Yeah,
exhausting yourself over stupid shit.
exactly.
I think, you know, and so I tend not to worry about that stuff. I mean, I just don't care either.
Yeah.
I do care about my appearance in the sense that I want to be respectful depending who I'm meeting. You know, if we're going to a meeting, for dinner, right? I don't want to look like a, you
Slob.
know, yeah, I carry myself in a certain manner, you know. But, you know, so you learn all that stuff in boot camp too. You know, which is weird. Like, you know, you should have that mentality. That's like a normal trait.
Yeah.
But in boot camp, they teach,
They
you know,
train you on that. Yeah.
yeah, like how to sit up straight, you
How to
know,
shave. Yeah.
yeah, and eating properly, you know, back straight,
Yeah.
no talking, you know. I don't know if that has a lot to do with mannerism, but you know, we get killed when we spoke when you ate, you know,
Yeah. When you're
or
not
they'll
supposed
deny you food, which they're not allowed you to do,
to. Yeah.
but they do it, you know. Hey, I'm not spilling any beans or anything. Trust me, you got to go in signing. Listen, you got to go in. You can't go in and be like, I'm being treated unfairly, or, well, maybe in specific cases, right? In
Yeah.
specific cases, but you will go through a lot of hardship in boot camp, especially if you have good drill instructors,
Yeah.
you know, especially, and majority of them are very good. You know, obviously you're gonna always have one or two, you know, whatever cases, but you can't go in there thinking, this is for fun. This is not for fun. This is
Yeah.
not for fun. This is, they're training you to so that your odds of surviving whatever comes forth is
Hi.
it's gonna be high. It's greater
Yeah.
than, you know, not going through this. And whether if you get punched or denied food, or they're not gonna kill you. You're not gonna die. it
Yeah.
might feel like
You might
you
feel
might
like it.
or you might feel like you want to die.
Hiking up a mountain. Yeah, when you do
And oh man, yeah, and listen, you're not going there for vacation. You're not going there for an ounce of pleasure.
it's not
No,
leisure.
there's no leisure there, and
No.
you might get gifted, like right. You might get gifted like, oh, here you have like an hour to read your letters from home, on
Yeah.
Sundays, or you might have church. I went to church as
Oh, me
my
too. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Was Catholic, so yeah. Yeah, it was
A lot of,
Sundays. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, a lot of unreligious people went to church on
Sure did.
Sunday.
It's just
I
not a
remember.
way.
Oh,
That
you're
was your
Catholic? Like, nah. Huh?
that was like the moment you're like, thank God I got a time to myself.
Yeah, man. Shoot. I mean, you need that too for meditation, right? It's like a form of meditation.
Yeah,
Like
it
you
is.
just like you don't talk to anybody anyways. Or I would whisper to the guy next to me because it would be some random dude from another platoon. Oh, and
Yeah.
I met one of my childhood friends at church.
No way.
Yeah, we went to school from kindergarten to like 8th grade, bro. And he used to live like a few blocks away from me. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, holy shit, what are you doing here? He's like, yeah, this and that. He went in. He had to join. He wasn't. He joined the Marine. I was like, why'd you join? He's like, because this is the last person out. Not one of the,
But
figure of
it's
speech.
not his character. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what? What made you join? And he's like, I got caught with weed.
He
And
was on.
and and, and yeah, and the judge is like, you do something, right? Basically, join the Marines.
Yeah.
And then throughout the evolution of boot camp, near the end, I remember going to church another time, and he wasn't there. He
Mm.
wasn't there, and I was like asking one of his boy, because his boy was there, that was always there with him. I said, "Where's I don't want to say his name, but," and he's like, "Yo, he got he popped on the piss test."
Oh.
I'm like, it sucks. What a waste.
Yeah.
So he got kicked out. So don't smoke weed. You
Yeah.
know,
No, like.
I'm sure that's still the same. It's because federally
Yeah,
still
I think there's a zero drug. There's no drug like they
zero
don't
tolerance. Yeah.
zero tolerance. Yeah, they don't allow that. They don't like because you got to think if you are on a substance and you're doing any kind of job. I mean, it depends on the job, honestly. But if you say military wise, you have to be. We're instilling that trust that you will do your part 100%. If you do have a substance, guess what? You could slack off. You could get lazy. There could be some kind of reaction to your substance. But yeah,
well, just needless to say why, but the main part, just yeah, you just don't waste that time, to get.
yeah. Don't waste the opportunity where like this could benefit
Hey,
you.
listen, if you're gonna smoke, but make sure you give enough time, before
Clear it up.
you, because you're gonna want to live your life before you sign, before you commit yourself to something, right? Which is the military.
What
You
is
you
the
know
minimum 4 years and 8 years, right? Like, or
For the
did you?
Marines, well,
Yeah.
for Marines, it depends on the MOS. So it depends what MOS, because I know some Marines, depending on the MOS, they have to sign a 5-year contract because
Okay.
because the training for that
A
MOS, for that
year or
job,
6 months or something. Yeah.
it takes a longer time. Maybe they invest more money into it and they want more out of you. I don't know, right? But there are some contracts. Depends what is. But the basic one is like 4 years, and then another 4 years inactive.
Yeah.
So they could still call you back, you
Yeah.
know, during that 4 time, which happened to my brother. My brother, he
Oh,
got
he's
out.
not gonna
He
call
he did 2 tours. Yeah, he did 2 tours in Iraq, and one on a MU and one invasion, the initial invasion of Iraq, and then he got out, became a sheriff for like almost 2 years, and or a year and a half or something like that. And remember, there was like a huge recall
Oh.
in 2006. I remember there's so many Marines got
Oh, maybe
recalled.
he got called back. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, for like a year, and that's he went back for another tour, which
Yeah.
and then I was coming back. I was
Yeah.
coming back from Iraq.
MOS or
Huh?
you were coming back from MOS training boot
No, I
camp?
was coming back. His last tour, when he got recalled, I was coming back from my tour in Iraq.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so my parents,
We're worried.
I mean, by the time I went, you know, I felt like my parents more worried about my brother going to Iraq because like third time's the charm, maybe, right? I
I
mean,
guess. Yeah.
right? Like, oh
Depends
crap,
on the
he's going for the third time. That's your oldest son too. Especially Koreans, you're like, oh, it's my oldest son. He's a prince. I'm like, what?
Well, yeah. You're the
But
gesture. Just
I'm
kidding.
the what?
You're the court gesture. You're the
Yeah, right. I'm the backup, the
Hey,
spare.
let me switch gears. Would you recommend the buddy system going in, like, or would you not? So
And
my cousin tried to do it, but honestly, he flaked out last minute like a sucker.
oh, with you?
No, not with me, with my other cousin. So
Oh yeah. So
yeah, my
he
cousin, I'm gonna shout you out. I'm gonna say his name. My cousin Jeffrey, he went in the Marine Corps, and my cousin Bobby, it was my cousin Bobby's idea. So I'm gonna shout you out, cousin Bobby. If you listen to this, you a sucker for that because he bowed out. He was like, no, man, I gotta take care of my mom. No. Okay, like at the same time, he did have to take care of my no smoke, but we were like, man, you a sucker. Like that's a sucker. That initiated the whole like, hey, I'm gonna go in. What's up, cuz? Do you want to go in with me? And I was like, cool, it's a buddy system. Like, so for sure, I don't think you get the same platoon, but you go in the same time and you're supposed to like, I'm pretty sure you don't get, I don't know. I'm not too sure because I never went experiencing that, but I heard a lot of people either they experience with their buddy, but you're at the boot camp at the same time. You're supposed to go starting and finishing at the same timeline. So,
yeah. Well, it's tricky. So so with any contract that you sign, you got to make sure that you have your MOS, right? The MOS that you want. Be very disciplined about that from the beginning. Don't just let somebody, especially like, I mean, in this case, a recruiter, but don't let anybody tell you, oh, it has to be done like this. It has to, you can't do this. You can't get it. I mean, to a certain extent, right? Depending on the rules and stuff like that. But if they're like, why not? Like, why can't, make sure you get the stuff that you want. I remember I specifically wanted after being told not to go to infantry, I specifically wanted small arms repair to be armor and make sure that was in the contract. Because there was so many stories that people had this job that they were promised this MOS, and then they're 311
promises.
yeah, make sure it's in your contract that MOS is what you want.
Read the contract, young.
I even wanted to be in boot camp to be assigned to 3rd Battalion.
Oh, specifically.
Okay. Yeah, because 3rd Battalion in Paris Island, is supposed to be the best. Because there's 1st Battalion, 2nd Battalion, 3rd Battalion, and there's also 4th Battalion, which is the females. But the 1st and 2nd Battalion, they're closer to the general, and they say that this is just a talk, right? But they say that because they're closer to the general, you can't get hazed as much. You don't get punished as much.
Because you're the prime example of.
Well, yeah, you don't want to get in trouble by the general, and that's so, or there's always people active around that area.
There's a lot of eyes watching.
3rd Battalion is, and I don't know if it's still like this, but I'm pretty sure it's still. Hopefully, I'm hoping there's still people.
3rd Battalion too on the West Coast though. We badass.
Yeah, 3rd Battalion was all the way in like the furthest battalion out there in the woods or something like that, and I don't know. This is what everybody from 3rd Battalion would say. I don't know if it's biased or but they would say that and say you gotta go to 3rd Battalion. And so I made sure that 3rd Battalion, I was, even for boot camp, was in my contract that I would go to 3rd Battalion. So I went to 3rd Battalion, and I was, again, I'm very prideful with that. I love being in 3rd Battalion.
What company were you? What was your name?
I forgot. I think we were Gulf.
Oh, I was Lima.
No, I forgot, man.
Yeah.
I forgot what company we were. I think we were Gulf, if I remember correctly. Because if 1st and 2nd was like Alpha. I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't remember the name. I remember it was like 3,000 something.
Yeah.
The only thing we won was rifle range.
Oh.
I was the one I was the artist recruit. I painted our rifle flag. I wish I lost the picture.
The logo. Yeah.
I lost our picture. I took a picture of our flag. It was dope. It was a dope flag, man. It had the skull, the recon skull, with a K bar in his teeth, and 2 cross rifles in the back, and
Hey.
other drill instructors will come to our what do you call it, barracks or squad, what do you call that,
Yeah.
or our squad bay or whatever,
Yeah.
and will come to just to look at the platoon flag, because the platoon flag, you have the platoon flag, and then right below that the rifle flag, the rifle range flag,
Yeah.
and then you will march with that,
Uh-huh.
and everybody would look at that shit. It was fucking badass, and it said, and obviously this was all instructed what my senior drill instructor wanted. Well, I gave him the idea. I'm like, because everybody. I remember one time we had to like draw one day we had to take out a piece of paper and draw
You
something.
just want to see who's the artist out of all y'all.
And draw something. I drew a dragon, dope ass dragon, and boom, he was like, "All right, Kim, you're fucking
Thank you.
yeah, and I painted and drew it. It looked bad and badass, and it would say on one side like, uh, prepare, pray for peace, and the other side said train for war,
Yeah.
So that was my seniors. It wasn't his saying, I think, but it was something that he always said.
Yeah.
You will conform. Those words were on that flag, and it was badass, bro. It was a badass flag. Man, I can't believe I lost that picture of it. I don't know where it is. It has to be somewhere. But anyways,
Yeah.
and that's the only thing we won. And man, you got killed for losing. Did you get killed for losing?
Oh yeah, you always get smoked. Come on now,
Yeah.
everybody knows a smoke pit.
Yeah, yeah, definitely boot camp is the whole Marine Corps experience. Definitely, before you join, you don't know what you're signing up for. You don't,
Yeah.
you could prepare, like whoever's listening to this, who is about to join, and thank you for for joining, taking that step too. You're just again, you're gonna learn to be flexible.
Yeah.
That's the most key thing, because no matter where you are, whether you're in training or in combat or in the battlefield or wherever, nothing is planned. I mean, there's planning, but nothing goes according to plan.
Yeah.
And you gotta adapt to that. You get shot. Nobody. It's like that Tyson saying. Everybody has a plan till they get punched in the face.
Oh yeah.
Wait till you get shot. Wait till your buddy next to you dies, or your whole squad is fucking killed. What the fuck do you do? And you gotta adapt. You gotta fucking think. You can't just shrivel up and die. That's the next option, right? It's just to curl up in a ball and die. Or that's giving up. And that's giving up. Huh?
Like, now I'm good. I'll never curl up and die.
Yeah, you can. I mean, well, yeah. I mean, that's one thing that I know in boot camp they was installed in my brain, was never surrender. We'll never surrender. You rather, I remember in boot camp they would really instill this in us, put the shit in our brain where you fight to the end.
Yeah.
Because if you get captured, you're gonna wish, you're dead. Yeah. And I remember just always thinking that, like, and you rarely find, even on the news and stuff, rarely, and I don't know, maybe, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Marines don't get captured,
Nope.
Rarely. Yeah, we never surrender. But you can, I'm not trying to bash on that. Army is just, the training is different, and some people go into the Army for different reasons. Again, like you said, they're not everybody is I don't want to say a warrior, but not going in to fight a war in that sense, not to physically be a rifleman. Like, every Marine's a rifleman. When you're signing up, you're signing up to be a killer. No matter what your job is, you could be a chef or a cook, whatever you want to call it, right? And you because when I went to Iraq, and this happens to many Marines, no matter what your MOS is, admin, supply, you're gonna go and you're gonna be prepared to fight. Like, people that was in truck platoon, that was in my platoon, were all
Mixed.
Supply, admin, bunches, everyone, armor, just anybody who volunteered. And we'll talk more about that next time. But yeah, with the Marines, you'll never know where you're gonna be placed. I went to Sears, I went to training that infantry people, men didn't get to do. And even what's surprising too, knowing heavy machine guns and light machine guns, I know, in and out. A lot of infantry 0311s didn't know how to operate a machine gun.
Yeah, we were the ones that
Yeah, I operated the machine guns when I was out with them. My first firefight was behind a machine gun. You know, I racked that shit. I was doing everything with muscle memory. It was a great experience in that sense. In just that moment, I was very impressed with myself. But I was more impressed, like, wow, this training shit works.
yeah.
This training works. Training. I'm telling you, take every train. It works, man. It works. I was on autopilot.
Yeah.
I didn't, have time to think. Everything happened on its own. I was reloading, shooting. Like everything was happening. It
Chaotic.
was chaotic, but yet I don't know. I felt like
You're
I was
focused.
watching. I'm outside watching. Like my spirit left the body, and I was like, and I was just watching. I don't know. Yeah, it was fucking crazy, man. But so that's what I'm saying. When you join the Marines, that's what you have to understand, that you're gonna be doing something that you might never expect. Army. So let's say it was do you know Dakota Myers? He was a Marine who got a Medal of Honor winner. Get out of here! You don't know Dakota Myers?
Mm-mm.
Fucking Marine, man. The Medal of Honor.
At least I'm
All
honest.
right, Marine.
I know
All right, so
Chester fully.
the medal. That means you don't watch my TikToks.
Oh.
Cause I did a tribute to him. That has over 3.5 million likes. I mean, views,
Oh man.
and it's growing. Dude, this guy, he's the second youngest living or second living Medal of Honor recipient.
Wow.
And what he did was, and I'm just run through it real quick. His team was ambushed. Him and another Marine drove a Humvee and went in and out of the battlefield, just killing motherfuckers and taking out the wounded and the dead. And he killed a motherfucker with a rock. He was trying to you know take the bodies of his teammate.
Wow.
Back to base, back to safety. And while he was there was another Taliban motherfucker taking, stripping their gear and stuff, something like that. And he got tackled from the back, and they got into, he was hand to hand, and he got on top of him, and he took a rock and he just killed him, or beat him. Yeah. But anyways,
man, shout out to Dakota Myers. And yeah, that's
yeah,
awesome.
man. And you could, I mean, you could, he's on like Joe Rogan's podcast. He does an interview and more in depth on Jocko's podcast. He goes very in detail with that. But that, you could definitely hear that shit, and it's really good. But anyways, he said, he even said, which I completely agree. When he was in one scenario, one situation, while he was deployed, not in that situation, not that day, but a different situation, where he was with the army and they got attacked. I think that they hit an IED or something like that, and they got ambushed a little bit. And he told, I'm butchering the story, but the basic thing is that he was telling the guys in the Humvee, their army, get your fucking rifle, get your rifle, and, shoot back, or get on the 50. Get on the fucking turret. We got a fucking we got a fucking heavy machine gun up in this case, return fire and stuff like that. But whatever the details were, but one thing that stuck with me is that they said to him, "We're supply. We're non-combatant. We didn't sign up for this shit." God fucking, I even pissed. Even hearing that, I was pissed. Dude, you're a supply. And that's what he said too. He was so pissed that he was like, he knows supply Marines, like, he knows people from supply that are dying, to see combat, to be in their situation, to be in their fucking shoes. Same thing with me. I was a fucking poke. I was an armor. I was an infantry. He was a sniper.
Oh wow.
He was this guy's on. He's a Marine. He's on top of it. No, he's still, yeah, he's he's a Medal of Honor fucking recipient,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You don't give that shit to anybody.
Nope.
So yeah, he's hot shit, and he was fucking pissed, and same, and rightfully so, because I felt the same way. And
Yeah.
I thought of you automatically too. Your supply. Did you volunteer for Iraq, or you just got thrown into that
So
shit?
when your unit approached me, it was whack because I was fully because my commander in chief, Lieutenant Lawless, he was the
Commander in chief, this president.
whatever, but
your,
whatever. He was an
your
officer,
boss.
whatever,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But not command. My bad. My bad. Yeah, let me rephrase.
People are gonna be like, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?"
So basically, yeah, Lieutenant Lawless at the time, this fool, I was his guy, but then of course I got overruled because I was a big part of the supply thing. I was the warehouse chief, so I was the guy that had to stick around, had to because I knew everything. Like I was a vital part of our 311 company. That shout out to them because the thing is, I was already in that young leadership role, and I had basically a lot of value. So I volunteered. I always
Oh, so you did volunteer.
yeah, I always
Yeah.
volunteered, and it got shot down. All my
Oh,
requests,
okay.
my orders got shot down. But then in 2007, obviously the Mars like, hey, you didn't go where? Like yeah, you're gonna go Iraq, and I was like, cool. So then that's what happened. I went with it,
Yes,
and
that's
I
the
went.
call you were waiting for, man.
Yeah,
That's
it
what I'm
was.
saying. I think that's why, I think it's needless to say, if you're joining the Marines, for the most part, from what I've seen from people like messaging me and stuff, and commenting on my stuff, it's like they want to see battle, and
You
they
do.
want to go to, and they want to join the Marines,
Signed up already. Yeah, you signed up thinking like, yo,
But you gotta understand, especially in this climate, um, we're not. I don't know. We're still at war. I'm guessing, right? I mean, we
yeah,
still
we
have
are.
bodies over there, but but
Afghan.
it's not there's no new wars. I mean, or any new conflicts right now, and the likeliness of you seeing battle might be very minimal.
Right.
You know, and you just, I mean, that shouldn't be your sole purpose of joining. You
It
know.
shouldn't be. But my 4 years, I already had that mind state. Like, yo, I could ship out any day.
Yeah, especially in our climate, that time frame was 2004. When
To
we joined, right?
yeah, 2004,
2008 was it's the height of the war, man. I mean, we got the Fallujah, especially for Marines, and Fallujah. Woof,
shout out to
it's
y'all over
rough, man. Wow, it's crazy. It's madness, And then Afghanistan, I mean, so you just got. I mean, not to say that you won't see battle or combat or you won't deploy.
You might
I
not.
just
You might not.
there's a high chance you might not.
Yeah, because
And say again.
no, because like my 4 years, I was already year one, nothing. Year two, nothing. Year three, going on year four, I'm like, well, I'm about to
That's how I was.
I'm about to get out. So I'm like, all right. But then guess what? My last year, I got to see some combat, which,
Yeah.
like I said, it's definitely a humble experience. It doesn't affect just you; it affects your family and your loved ones because guess what? You're not on their day to day. You're not going home for the weekend. You're not going like they think about you constantly. You don't get days off when you're in Iraq. Trust me.
Yeah.
You get
Yeah.
a day to recoup, but you don't get
I think it depends also what your
unless
mission is.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, MOS or mission, whatever you're assigned to do over there.
yeah.
Because I didn't do my MOS when I went to Iraq. I did grunt work. I did driving too. That was what we're doing. To drive. We're a truck platoon.
Yep.
So I just knew how to. I just had a license. That's basically what I had. I had a license and a gun,
Yeah,
um,
exactly.
and a license to kill. Now, but yeah. So that's what I'm saying. The mentality is very different when people ask me. So there's some people that did ask me, well, I don't know if I should join the Marines or this branch or Army or Air Force, and it's really you got to do your research, right?
Yeah, you just do your research. And
You got to do your research.
like, what do you want to do out of this? Like, what are you gonna get out of it? Like, to be honest, like, I mean, overall, if I had to do it over again,
I wouldn't do it.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
wouldn't know either. I wouldn't. I don't think I would want to.
Yeah,
I think
I
for
think
me, yeah, for me, my 4 years worked out
Perfect.
perfectly. Where I'm like, I can leave.
Yeah.
I did a lot. I think, only thing I would do different is probably do more. Like there's times I didn't put 100% in, man. I wish I did. I wish I put yeah, but that's with everything,
Life. It's just that's how life works, you know.
Yeah, I wish, I always wish I did more. Like I put more in,
Yeah.
like, but to other people they're probably like, oh yeah, this, or maybe not. I don't know. But I for my own thing is like, man, I wish I just put more.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, you did a lot, bro. Because nobody went to SEER school at the time, machine gunners course. Like, if there's a
Yeah,
course
well,
out there, that's what I would recommend to people. Take it.
trainings. Yeah, all these trainings, right? Because that's what that's on Chevy. So I had a boss. Remember my boss?
One of the
He,
illest boss I ever met.
yeah, I'm blessed. That's what I'm saying. My 4 years. I hate to use the word luck, but it is lucky, I guess, right? Because I was
Yeah,
lucky to have Stats on Chevy, Stats on Cheveria, call him Stats on Chevy. He was the fucking man. He told me he's like Kim. He taught me he knew everything about guns, man. He went to special training to himself. He was gonna send me to that one where it was called damn, it's this training school in Arizona where they teach you how to shoot, where FBI agents go there, CIA,
yeah.
SEALs go there, Green Berets. It's a private company
Elite
where, yeah,
status.
it's a very elite. It's like where John Wick goes to shoot, stuff
What?
like that. And he was gonna send me there, but I didn't rank.
Uh,
No, I don't know what it was. So he went. So here, and rightfully so. He earned it. He deserves it. Because what he told me is like, he's like, Kim. When he was a young devil pup, his stats are never sent him anywhere because, and not because it was his fault or anything, but they were so busy.
yeah,
We were at a time of war where our battalions, not battalions, but batteries and companies, they were always, nobody was home. Remember,
yeah.
everybody was out, so there was like less people. I was actually one over, I believe, when I went, and there was, so, there's like, in the armory, there's, let's say, the max armors they need is 5.
Yeah.
I was number 6, so I was like
Ah,
an extra hand. I think,
yeah.
at one point, because because one of what crazy story. One Marine, he two Marines, they try to steal a rifle. You ever
Ooh.
heard about that? They try to steal a
Yeah.
rifle. They
Of course, I know about that. Obviously,
Yeah, so you know about the how system, how the serial
the
numbers
serial
work.
number.
Yeah. So you know how there's two lists. There's one that's for the company and the unit, whatever, and then there's one master list. Just because it wasn't on that one unit, yeah, the master list is what you take care of.
Yeah.
And the company, it wasn't on there for a while, so they thought that was a fucking smart, bright idea that these 2 rifles aren't on the list.
Yep.
We can
Let's
take it.
get it.
Don't do that shit. All right, don't
Don't.
take
Yeah.
anything that's not yours. And they fucked up. They fucked up. They went to
Great.
jail.
Yep.
It was a big investigation, and I was still a boot when I was there.
Yeah.
You know. Uh,
What's the definition of boot, sir?
yeah. So that's okay. So the boot, right? We call it, because you're a boot.
You're a boot.
I am a boot. Yeah, probably to a lot of people. So everyone's a boot. All right. I've been called on my TikTok. People call me a fucking boot. It's funny. Hey, listen, you're gonna get called a boot when you join. You're gonna be called a boot. What is Marines call new Marines boots? Okay, because why? They come fresh out of boot camp.
Fresh.
So you're a newbie, but you could also be called like a boot corporal. A boot lieutenant, a boot sergeant, because you're new. It's just you're new to whatever that
Yeah, you're
is.
the rookie.
You know, yeah, you're the newbie, you're the rookie. So you're called a boot. You'll be called a boot all the time.
Yeah.
Don't take it. There's a lot of stuff. Don't take it personal, especially in boot camp, especially in the fleet. You
Yeah.
might think it's racism. It's not.
Yeah. So that's
You know,
that's what I was having trouble with. Like honestly, I had trouble with that because
really?
yeah, just because
Yeah. I did too a little bit.
I'm 20 years old. This dude, 18 years old, trying to tell me what to do. Like, homeboy, you haven't even lived out
Yeah,
of the house. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that. Like,
that's ego though.
Yeah, but just like you said, don't take it personally. It's just
Don't
that
take it personally. It's a
the
job.
structure, yeah, the job and the structure, you have to listen to your superiors, right or wrong, because that's the guidance that is in place. So
Exactly. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, don't take a lot of things to heart, man. When you join in boot camp, and then starting from boot camp and up, don't take it personal. You
yeah,
can't, or you're not gonna get anywhere because everyone's gonna be fucking around. Everyone talks shit. Everyone makes fun of
all
each
the
other, and that's
time.
how you get close.
Yeah,
And that's how and then
come
that's
on.
how it's
Yeah,
fun too. It's funny. This stuff that Marines are funny, man. Marines are funny,
yeah. We
hilarious,
have
bro.
a lot of memories. Definitely, we're gonna. That's what you could expect on the show. What's crazy is, like I said, me and my homeboy, we were in the same battalion for a long time. We lived in the barracks for a long time. We hanged out off work at the same time when there was times to hang out. So and look, what we're in 2020. We got out. You got out 2008 too, right? 2008.
Yeah, it's funny.
See, look, it's been 12 years. Oh, like, dude, we're still good friends. Like,
Oh yeah,
I could call Terry my friend for life. One of our good buddies from S1. Like those are my bruhs. Like, bro, like anything
yeah,
they need, I could count on them. And anything, I'm pretty sure it's the same. Like,
yeah.
so.
I mean, yeah. It's- you're gonna meet a lot of people. You're gonna meet a lot of people that suck too, man.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
but at the end of the day, we're all trained to do one thing, and it's to protect each other. That's
yeah.
no matter what, especially on the if you do go to combat or to the battlefield or anywhere, even in training, like in the field, you're gonna want to look out for each other. Everyone looks out for each other, whether
Yeah.
you get to look out at each other from getting in trouble, look out in trouble from getting hurt, when you're doing like training or anything, right? You got to look out for each other, especially when you go out on libo. Oh, man, remember
Yes. I
remember
love when I hear 96.
yeah, yeah, 96 is what, 96 hours, right? That's what
Yeah,
it says.
96 hours of not freedom because technically you're on call, but
But it's
96 hours.
liberty. It is
Yeah.
called liberal, right? Liberty, where you get to go out at a certain radius of from the base. And we were in
Yeah.
29 pounds. You could go to Vegas, right?
Uh,
We went to
yeah.
Vegas,
Yeah.
LA. Yeah, it's just like a 300-mile radius, something like that, right? Depending on it. I don't know. That's like, but anyways, yeah, I remember one time, I remember his name, but I think, but I don't want to say it. But he went to Vegas with another Marine. They're all drunk, and one Marine was really drunk and just throwing up on the sidewalk, like kind of almost passed out.
Yeah.
And the other Marine was watching out for him,
Yeah.
rightfully so, right? Like just making sure
Never leave a
it's just a
man
buddy,
behind.
yeah, but like it's like a buddy, so or any friend that, and this is Vegas, and somebody was trying to steal his shoes.
What?
The Marine that was throwing up, like that was like incap or whatever, out cold,
Intoxicated?
intoxicated, and he goes, so that Marine who was like, he's like, what the fuck you doing? And he got stabbed. You remember that in 311? He got stabbed, right?
Yeah.
He got stabbed
Was
in
it
the
our NBC homie?
yeah, I think he was NBC,
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
There was only one
I don't
Marine that
know,
got
but
stabbed and
I
fucked
think
up.
yeah.
Yeah, he got. I'm not sure if he was NBC or maybe I forgot, but he was at HQ, his headquarters. But yeah, he got stabbed up, and I mean that's the thing. You gotta be careful when you go out because you feel like you're on top of the world, man.
Yeah. Of course, in the
You're on
beginning,
top, yeah, especially in the beginning.
on you. Yeah, yeah, of course.
You are on top of the world. I'm not to say you are, but it just you gotta be careful. You can't get complacent. We get complacent. But anyways, you know,
So,
joining. I
so go ahead.
Second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, so joining. I mean, it's gonna be nervous, man. You're exciting. You should be nervous, and then and then like remember the airport when you go to the air. I don't know if this happened for you, but when we went to the airport, it was just like for me, because you don't have a time, you don't know what time it is. They just make you stand there. They made us stand there at the airport for I don't know, maybe like I felt like an hour, bro,
Uh-huh.
in quiet, or 40 minutes. I don't know. It was
Oh,
such a
are you
fuck.
talking about when you're was it the USO?
I don't know. We didn't go to US, but yeah, we just
Well,
we
basically a group of you guys about to get shipped out, right?
Yeah. Oh, we already shipped, and this is the
Oh, this is at
just
the.
like an airport in South Carolina or somewhere. I forgot. Once you after a certain point, you don't know what time it is.
Yep.
You don't know anything anymore. You're at the will of the Marine Corps. You're gonna be fed whenever you're told to be fed. Whenever you're told to eat, and
The last
uh,
freedom meal.
yeah, you laugh when you're only told to. You're capable of laughing. What's funny is that the drill instructors, my drill instructor, my teacher he was a drill instructor, Cesar Thomas. He's a black dude. He wasn't like jacked, but he was like
Lean.
fit, man. He was
Yeah.
just fit, man. You wanted to be just like him. He was
Yeah.
so like inspiring. The way he always talked, his voice was always out,
Yeah.
and he was like a good looking dude too, and he was like you wanted to be just like him. And he was our teacher hat, so the teacher hat always is always there with the platoon, and then
Yeah.
you have the 2 kill hats,
Yeah.
and then you have the senior drill instructor. The senior drill instructor is like the dad, the parent,
Yeah.
and then the teacher has like your teacher. He
Yep.
teaches. He's like the second in command, like the mom or almost.
Yeah.
And then you have the 2 kill hats who are just there, like
Just lacing
pit,
you up.
pit, pit bulls. Yeah, the bulldogs are running, yeah, lacing you up, man, sizing you up. Keeping you in check.
Yep.
They're the chaos, man. They're the ones who inflict chaos, and you hate them.
You hate them.
Kinda, yeah, you kind of hate
You
them,
love them.
and then yeah, you obviously you respect them, but you love your senior and your teacher hat. That's how they make it, and you'll see when you join. And it's the way they do it is so smart. It's just
Yeah.
a system. The way they're
Working.
doing it,
Yeah.
it works. It works. Whatever they're doing, whoever came up with the shit, it fucking works. It
Yeah. This
works
regiment
all the way
works.
to the end, to the battlefield, or to the point where somebody gives up their own life so that the mission uh,
It's completed.
is success. Yeah, it's complete.
Mhm.
And that's all the way, and that starts from boot camp,
Yeah.
and it's fucking nuts, man. You got to think about that shit. But
Yeah.
yeah, so the teacher had Cesar, drill instructor Cesar Thomas. He was fucking hilarious, bro.
Yeah.
At night,
Don't get me wrong.
yeah,
Yep, you find the funny.
they're so
I cracked
funny,
up.
man.
I teared eyes so many times because
Yeah,
it's funny. Everything is funny. That's why
so funny.
it sucks. But dude, you laugh your ass off
Laugh, yeah, and you get in trouble for laughing. So
for laugh.
maybe that's the thing too, because you're not allowed to laugh.
Yeah.
That makes it even funnier. It's so
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
I never laughed so much.
Me
You
too.
know, it's such a crazy paradox, I guess, or whatever. That you're in such a miserable. They're there to make you miserable, but they and the recruits are funny too, man. They do the dumbest shit. We do the dumbest shit. Like that makes the drill instructors laugh. So there's something called military bearing, right? And you can't drill instructors won't laugh. I never seen my drill instructors crack a fucking smile.
Never.
But what I
Maybe
did notice,
hurt.
they would take their hats, the covers, when somebody does something stupid and it's fucking hilarious. I think they take their covers and they put their fucking head down, or they leave. They leave the fucking room.
Yeah.
They leave, and that's military bearing because they're not allowed to show fucking a smile. They're not even allowed to crack a smile.
Yeah.
Like never. I never seen my fucking drill instructor smile.
Even when you graduate, huh? No.
No, never. They didn't crack a smile. Never. They're fucking 100% this fucking ideal Marine, man. And but from what I've heard, so after boot camp and all this stuff, when they do take their covers off and stuff like that, it's because they're fucking laughing.
They're laughing too, because
Yeah, because it's fucking people fucking do the stupidest shit, huh?
yeah, you can't help but laugh because it's so funny. Like
Yeah, so there's a lot of funny stuff, man. Like, because you everything's new to people, like especially to recruits people, and then you're told to do certain things and you do it in different like, and it's fun. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's funny, man. And then
we'll definitely paint a picture to it next show because our next show
yeah,
it's all boot camp.
boot camp, yeah, we more specifically boot camp. So this one's more, you're joining the podcast, you're joining boot camp, you're joining just joining in general the military, and yeah, hopefully.
So definitely, what takeaways they should get off you from this pulley, like from jump to thing?
Make sure, yeah. Here's I think just a few things. Make sure you get what you want. You do your research. Have the MOS that you know whether it's infantry or whatever, to know their jobs and stuff like that. That's up to you if you want to, if you think you're going to continue that after them, or maybe you might do a whole career in the Marine Corps. I don't know, but you got to just, these are thoughts to have, right? At least, and make sure it's all your decisions. As long as it's your decisions, you can't go wrong, because you got to man up to it later on. You can't blame anybody else. Oh, I wanted to become infantry, and or
My dad
whatever,
did
right?
this, or my mom.
Yeah, I thank my brother and my dad that I didn't. Maybe that's why I'm alive.
Yeah.
Maybe, right? I don't know.
Same. Yeah.
So so make sure you do your research. It's your decision. Don't be rushed. You're gonna be scared. You're gonna be nervous. You're always gonna be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't go. Listen, if you're ready, you gotta remember, if you had that feeling, that inspiration, that motivation to once to go, you might later on, and don't go, and you might later on regretting that in life.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know what to tell you, because
But at least
I
you
did
made
it. I did it. Yeah, at least I did it. And whatever decision you make in life, own up to it, man up to it, and give 100% to it, whatever it is you're doing, right? Be a fucking whatever. And so make sure you have your MOS. Make sure you get what you want. Make sure you're freaking running. You're and that's the top advice to survive, from starting from boot camp all the way to the end. Running is key. You'll be running all the fucking time, for PT, for combat, for for being punished. I don't know. You're always running. Running is key, and that's why, it's because of endurance. All right, so when you're running to the point where your legs are burning, your lungs are burning, you feel like you can't breathe, and that's miserable. I think that's the best way to train your brain to keep going. Those times when you can't, when you feel like, oh man, I just ran 1 mile, and then you're like, your lungs are burning. This is before boot camp, and your lungs are burning. You're like, okay, or you even get to that point. See what your mental state is of capable of doing. Yeah, how much you can endure. Because when you get to boot camp, they're gonna push you to the point where you cannot look like a bitch. You can't. You gotta
suck it up.
You gotta suck up every fucking thing, man. And so that's my biggest advice. Yeah, work out, lift weights, but running.
You don't have to be the 6 mile. You don't have to be the 6 minute mile guy, 7 minute. As long as you're in the 10 to 12 range, I think
at least if you're capable of running 3 miles nonstop, you're golden.
You're golden. Yeah.
Nonstop. Run 3 miles nonstop before you join boot camp. And then you'll be.
How about pull-ups, bro? I feel like if your pull-up game is pretty tight.
Oh man, yeah, pull up too. But listen, I mean, my pull up game and running. I told you I didn't have any training before I went, and like, or barely any training.
What did you do in the beginning, bro?
I did. I did.
I think I did 2.
3. I did 3. Or no, passing is 3, right?
Yeah, I think so. But I
did a bare fucking minimum.
A long time. Yeah.
But coming out of boot camp, I think 12.
20, 25.
You did 25? You did 20? I think I did 13 or 17, 12. I forgot. It was low. But there was other people that did 20. That by the end of boot camp, they were pumping out 20.
You know what helps? Like pull-ups and push-ups. The pull-ups and push-ups, straight up.
Yeah. Sit-ups. So those are things that you definitely want to be really good at, is running 100%. Pull-ups, yeah, definitely. If you could do 20 pull-ups, that'll be great. But it's gonna help you in the long run. Sit-ups, obviously, all those things definitely. Even though if you can't do it, you'll build up to it.
Yeah, you'll definitely like have your body used to it by the time you're boot camp. But if you want to be stellar and stick out, that's a good recommendation.
Not even just sticking out, it's about making it just a little bit easier on yourself, man. Because I wish I was capable of performing better, like just performance. Like you want to go into the race with a good engine, with a good car, like that's what I'm saying. And that's the way to prepare. But and then, like, again, we said the mental thing, not eating. Oh man, we went hungry every time, and I was hungry every fucking day, every night. I was hungry. I felt like we burned so much more calories than we took in.
Yeah,
it had to be. I lost so much. I was ripped.
3 times a day, guys. You only get fed 3 times a day.
Yeah, if you're lucky, because we'll talk more about that. Yeah, the next one. But we're hitting 2 hours. But that's that's my advice. Make sure you get what you want,
Uh-huh.
and endurance. Prepare yourself for the endurance, the long run, because you're gonna be tired. You're gonna be tired, and that when you're tired, when you're physically tired, that's when your brain, your mental state gets affected. So get yourself tired more often, to the
Before
point of
you-
extreme of like, man, I'm so exhausted, where that's when your brain, and that's how you build mental state, I believe, when you're at this weak, when you're physically weak and you have nothing else but your mind. Because once your mind breaks,
mind over matter, baby.
yep, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
man.
what could our audience expect out of the show? So we just did a whole pulley show, talked a little about our experiences in the flea and boot camp. I personally think they could expect just us being 100% real. I'll give you that. It's authentic. I mean, also, I feel like if you are curious, definitely you could hit me up, Rampak Shakur, TikTok, IG, same thing. I could answer some questions definitely. And, what's great about this is I think this makes it seem like, okay, we'll give you a little taste of it, but you still have to go through the whole experience yourself.
Yeah, of
Because
course.
yeah, Terry said, he had his brother, I had my cousins, my close friends, but it doesn't matter what they say. It's like when you're going through it,
Yeah,
that's
I could
when
tell you. Yeah, we could tell you all the secrets, and it wouldn't matter.
it
It
wouldn't
wouldn't
matter.
fucking matter. It doesn't matter. You know the secrets already. You
Right.
know it. It doesn't matter. They know that you know too. And and shave your head before you go.
Dude,
Nah, don't shave it. They hate that shit. They
I
hate
hate
when.
that too. When I got my first cut, I was like,
Oh no. So the drill instructors hate it. I think. I don't know. This is what I've been told. The drill
uh,
instructors hate it when you shave your head before you go in. So they like it when you have like long hair or
yeah,
whatever craziness. But
because they want to
I
clown
don't
you.
know. It's up to you.
See that
It's
they
up to
want to
you.
see
But
that.
I got my head shaved. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah, your
it's
head
an
shaking.
experience. You shaved before? You went in?
Yeah. No, I mean, I just like did like a quick 2 or 1. Like, yeah, it was just all same.
But they go down to zero.
Yeah,
They
zero.
go down to zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm at zero
Oh,
now.
and then I had they call it BCs. Well, I call them before,
Birth.
but yeah, I had glasses. Thick.
Uh, yeah, I had glasses too. Birth control. And
Yeah.
I
Oh,
got, I got, I got, I got, PRK. I got surgery.
I got LASIK through the military too for free.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, for free.
Whatever.
Dude, that was the best. Yeah, they're the best, man. And the Naval Hospital, they at Pendleton, at that time, they're supposed to be in the nation. They did the most procedures in the
Nice.
nation at that time. Because I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was successful. I see perfectly fine. I forgot that I used to wear glasses. You know.
Yeah. So
Oh,
I
you're
knew
breaking up
for
a little bit.
sure like I didn't want to graduate with my BCs, so I packed up some contacts at the time
Oh,
because
did
you
you?
get one little box, okay, guys. So when you go in whatever you wear, you put it in a little box, and like I put some contacts in my shoes, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna because like before you graduate, they let you have that box, and I was like, all
Oh, did
right,
they? I remember.
yeah, I popped those
Oh,
suckers in,
wow.
and
That's smart.
and my drill instructor got some. I said, Linus, where is your da, da, da? Like I was like,
Your BC.
yeah, like where's your BCs?
Portholes.
4 holes, yeah, and I was like, they broke.
All right, yo, we'll talk more about boot camp on the next one, the next episode. You're starting to. I don't know if it's the connection's dying out or you're starting to lag. It's
Oh
starting
no,
to lag. So
I'm good now.
I feel like I'm starting to lag.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
thank you
So let's
guys
cut it.
for listening in. I mean, catch us on the next one where they could expect what boot camp.
Yeah.
All
Same
right.
shit like today. Probably talking. I don't know what the fuck we're talking about. So yeah, if you have any questions, ask this boot.
All
All
right.
right.
Well,
Have a good
yeah.
one. Bye, everybody.